Recording 3, 2, 1.
Let me put you on game to a different way of thinking. Black King, empower the youth to let the truth got big dreams. Black King, all of my brothers that are for each other, that's how we know we. Black King, bringing more unity to community, yeah. Black King.
Yes, welcome back, my kings, my queens. Welcome to King's Hour. My name is Walter Watts, and like always, I have my kings with me. JoJo, talk to me.
What's good?
Mook, where you at?
Let's get it on, baby.
Bing, 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 bing. Okay, so for our listeners, listen, if you have not subscribed or liked or comment, make sure you do so now. We pay attention to the comments, and we appreciate everything that you guys reach back and subscribe to. So first of all, let's start with that. Second of all, the topic for today is our independence. Now, as you know, 4th of July was about 2 weeks ago, and it's been a normal conversation where you will hear other people talk about, they'll say that they don't celebrate 4th of July, or why do we celebrate 4th of July? And as the Black Kings, we want to bring it to light and figure out, hey, as our community, do you celebrate 4th of July? And if so, what are you celebrating? Because at the end of the day, 4th of July means so many different things for so many different people. And I've heard so many other people come up and be like, oh, I'm not celebrating that. But I want to go back and forth with my kings and figure out what you guys think. And how do you celebrate our independence on 4th of July? Mook, let's start with you.
Ooh, we sure you want to start there, man? I got smoke for this one. I mean, to be fully transparent, 4th of July is something that, honestly, throughout my life, I was something that I celebrated a lot. Not understanding why, and being force fed the education that I did have, and not understanding, it was for the nation that I was part of and its independence. It was something that I did celebrate. Now, recently, if you ask me that same question on if I'm celebrating on how I feel about it, it hits different for me, man. It hits different because we're in the age of information, and we're in the age of really understanding, what independence truly is. And it's not much for me to really want to celebrate, man. It's really hard. It's really hard for me to jump on and feel patriotic when it's almost like being in a relationship or being in an arranged marriage. Let me say that. It's like being in an arranged marriage where you had no say in who you fell in love with, but throughout that relationship, you were abused physically early on. And then kind of made it where the person really found out, okay, that was wrong. Probably I shouldn't do that. But they've never loved you the entire time. But you still stay and you build a household. You build a foundation together. But the whole time, they never love you. They don't give you the same. They don't give you their heart. And on top of that, they cripple you financially. They cripple you to say, hey, you got to be relying on me. You can't go anywhere else. This is an arranged marriage. I don't love you. And I still might throw my hands on you every now and then to keep you into place. But you're going to be in this relationship. And all the time, anytime I mention anything about that relationship, they tell me, well, hey, you can go back to where I took you from. You can go back to where I took you from, where you took me from everything. I go back. I don't got nothing. What you mean? I'm in a worse spot. So all that to say, full circle, that's a relationship that's hard for me to celebrate. You're going to look at that ring and be happy and smile and be like, oh, I'm loved. Somebody loves me. It's hard for me to do that, especially when somebody's force feeding you to say, no, this is what you should feel about this relationship. So I don't know. Hopefully that lands for somebody listening.
I feel like that's a great analogy.
That's a perfect analogy.
An arranged marriage is like our 4th of July. And it makes complete sense. And let me backtrack. Obviously, 4th of July means a lot. And JoJo, I'm going to come to you a lot. I'm going to come to you quick. But we understand in 1776, that's when we declared our independence. And again, we declared our independence when it comes to race. Our religion. And it became talked about taxes, and basically it just wasn't fair. You know what I mean? And we wanted to start our own shit. And that's why we celebrate our independence. Hey, great job. Yes, we celebrate that. But again, when it comes to Black people and our Black culture, we may have been excluded out of that conversation and even out of that celebration itself.
Hold on, curveball though.
Huh.
When they signed that document, there was 2 men in the room that didn't own slaves.
How many
There was
people were
about
in
40 people, 50 people in that room that signed that document that declared
lot.
independence, right? Independence from unfair taxes, from unfair this and unfair that.
Meanwhile,
But you didn't think about, you didn't think about the person that helped build all this shit with you. You didn't think about this great nation and why you have power.
with you part hits a little.
That with you
part. I don't like that shit.
Oh, you don't like the part where he said help build it with you?
Nah, ain't no with. There was no group. It wasn't a group
There was no
project. It was one of the
Oh,
group
no group
projects that
effort.
somebody show up for at the end and take the
They just
credit.
put their
for it.
name on it.
Put their name. We're talking about. I was here too, teacher. Professor, I was here.
Okay, well,
The
shoot.
the project manager. How about that? PM.
Great
They
segue.
just signed off on stuff. Huh?
They was talking to
wasn't in-
stakeholders. They were talking to the stakeholders, making sure the project was running smoothly, and then they took the credit for it. So ain't no built with you. They just, managed the project.
So great segue. Jojo, talk to me about how you know what I'm saying? How about how you feel?
We don't celebrate it, man. Like I grew up, I've known at an early age what it was all about. We already knew what time they weren't celebrating us and they never have been celebrating us. That's just what it is. I know right now everybody's, we got to be patriotic. We got to come together and kind of skip over everything that Black people have been through and dealt with. But I've never been with it, man. Like I can't. It's hard for me to look past, our present, because it's even crazier now. Like it's wild right now. Like motherfuckers is crazy. Motherfuckers is crazy. People have taken their hoods off. People are really out here showing their ass right now. Showing us who they are.
You can see it though. That's
you
the thing.
can
Like,
see it. Like I can see you, right?
It like you used to, like before. Like now, like look, there's information there at your lap. You can look this stuff up.
Yeah,
and it's still. Sorry, JoJo. Sorry.
No, I'm right. It's like the age of information. I know too much now. I knew a lot as a child. Shout out my parents. But now that I'm an adult, I know way too much, and I'm still learning more. And it hurts. It hurts. And it hurts. Like Luke said, this is an abusive relationship. This is an abuse because I just want to live. I'm a loving spirit, man. Mm-hmm. As a culture, Black people are a loving culture. Really loving culture, a happy
and we
culture.
We just want it reciprocated, bro. Like,
That's
like
it.
that
That's
is the
it.
most. That is the greatest feeling of when you got that love reciprocated, especially from brother to brother. Like, it's something different.
Yeah. So it's like we're a loving culture, but at the same time, you get to a point. It's like, bro, you're not gonna piss on me and call it rain. You're not gonna get mad at me for not celebrating this holiday that wasn't even for me in the first place. Like, come on, man. Like, come on. And the backlash we get for feeling this way.
Yeah.
It's crazy. Like, I respect your culture. I respect your holiday. I'm not disrespecting it. I'm just not gonna partake. I could take it there and be on some like fuck Independence Day. I can be that. Kind of how y'all are with why y'all got BET or why do y'all get Juneteenth. I could have that type of energy, but I don't because it's not that deep. I'm just not gonna. I just don't want to partake. I'll kick it with my family and we'll talk and vibe and enjoy the holiday, but it's not on some like celebrating our freedom because that's just not what it was for us. That's just not, and we're not gonna sit here and play like it was. That's crazy. That's crazy as hell. Like that's the whole idea. It's like, bro, that's wild as shit. Everyone in there owned slaves when they were signing that paper. That's wild as fuck that you want me to think that's normal.
And that's
what it was on. No, I don't give a fuck about that. That's crazy. You have a moral compass now. They had a moral compass then. That's crazy. That's crazy. Why don't you celebrate it? Come on, bro.
So So if we take a step back though, because when it is 4th of July, we're barbecuing, we're doing fireworks, we're out there, we're enjoying this holiday. So are you telling your kids, are you telling your family, like, are you saying that you don't fuck with 4th of July? Like, how is this reciprocated?
I'm explaining the history. The history the same way it was explained to me. It's not I'm not bashing nobody. I'm not, you know, but this is the history.
Yeah.
This is what went on. This was our Independence Day, and this is their Independence Day. This is what we celebrate, and this is what they celebrate. This is why they celebrate it. This is what they're freeing themselves from. This is what we're freeing ourselves from. Respect theirs. Don't, you know, keep your you're still a you know upstanding citizen. You don't have to show your ass, but this is what it is.
Do you keep that? Do you have that same energy on Juneteenth? When you say our celebration and their celebration, for our listeners, what are you talking about?
That's what I'm saying. Juneteenth, we celebrate because that was our independence. Just like there's these Chinese New Year's, Nigerian, everybody has a holiday they celebrate. Everybody has something that they celebrate. This is just what we celebrate. And it shouldn't be a why don't you guys or why don't y'all? No, just respect that this is what we got and that's what y'all got. And it's cool. It's cool. We're not on that. I'm not, at least.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not on that.
But the thing about it, my man, is like what really messes me up when we start to talk about this thing exactly is particularly what you have to teach your children, right? And the education that you have to give them about, you know, why is Juneteenth there? Why do we have Juneteenth, and why do we have two Independence Days that are so close? Why does that make sense? And you're explaining that to your kids, and you know, how old are they, JoJo? You tell me.
8 and 14.
But yet we can't talk about critical race theory, right? We can't talk about, but we have to talk about buck breaking processes, you know, and we got to talk about how we don't know what we are or where we're from, you know, when our kids ask us. And we have to talk about and understand that we've been stripped from that. We've been stripped from that, and we still haven't been made whole. Still.
So you said much so that I'm saying talk about, understand, and be prepared for it.
Right.
You know,
because it's not, because I don't get it. It's not. It hasn't stopped.
No.
Right.
But that's the whole reason we have to talk about it. You know what I'm saying? That's why that's the whole reason that we have this dialogue, is because we have to. We have to. But yet, you have, you know, the opposing side that thinks that we can't talk about critical race theory as if there weren't people on the opposition, or there weren't people that were white abolitionists, or people that were abolitionists, not even white abolitionists, people that were abolitionists of all kinds that stood for right. And as if your child can't decide. It was out there on the front lines, dying with us, as if your child can't decipher the same once they understand the history. That tells me more about where your heart's at. That tells me more about the way that you think.
Yeah. And because a lot of times when you're talking about critical race theory, there's always a black and white. You know what I mean? And if you continue to make it black and white, there is no in between. You know what I'm saying? And like you said, there are white people that were dying because they were trying to save black people. You know what I mean?
They knew what was wrong.
Right. All this stuff could be taught. You don't have to just it's not black and white.
Because the crazy thing is, there's worse things being taught outside of critical race theory. There's way worse atrocities that we teach about in school. This is just that one. This is just that one that'll reflect so poorly on people's like past and how they built this country. They just don't want to touch on it, and they don't want to call it what it is, man. Like, let's talk about it, because they're on this. If we don't talk about it, it'll go away. They just want us to focus on race. The government, they just want us to talk about race. No, bro, it's not gonna go away. Because I'm living this shit. I'm still living it. If I tunnel vision, if I put up my blinders like a horse, it's still there. I still gotta live it, man. Like this, we don't live the same reality. I pray, you know, black boys and black girls wish they can live in this reality where they don't have to deal with this shit on a daily. where my daughter can go play with the kid across the street without feeling some type of way, or without the parents making the kids go inside. You know how much you would love to live in that reality that you guys think that we should all live in, but it's just not an option all the time. I wish it was, and I'm willing to do all the work to get there. But part of that work is talking about it, really talking about it, and really teaching it.
So people understand, because a lot of times, if you're other than Black, or who no matter who you are, and you have the idea of like, hey, I'm not so patriotic about 4th of July, understanding why, because I feel like if you're not out there celebrating and doing fucking cartwheels, you are fuck America, and that's not even the case.
That's not the case.
Here's where I'm at. I'm past the point of you not understanding why. I'm way past that now. You know, because there is far too much blatant things going on in this world to make it still feel like, oh, well, you just don't understand it quite yet. Like it is right in your face that we're not the same. It is in your face. I mean, you think about just even in this last administration, the laws that have been passed, to protect people.
The Chinese.
We don't even got to talk about it. We don't even got to talk about it. Like there's things that are in your face that you look back in time that from a people that come from being captive in this country, and you are still not trying to. It's like I said, it's like being in a relationship and you are constantly reminded that, hey, I mean, you're here, but I don't really love you like that. There's not gonna be much of a future here. It's comfortable, and you can be here as long as you want, and this is what you got to deal with. And if you don't like it, you can get out.
Get the fuck out.
Okay, so
what? This is my home. Like, what are you talking about? Why?
I built this
bro,
with
that
you.
Be bugging me out.
Years.
That be bugging me out. Go back to your country, like, bro.
Hold on.
400 plus.
Before you go, because I'm on one now. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Look, let's take the word again. I've said this before, but a patriot.
Yeah.
A patriot.
Yeah.
How come when you think about a patriot, you never think about anybody Black? Anybody Black.
I'll tell you why. And want me to answer it?
Yeah, please.
Because we're not celebrating the American flag. We're not patriotic. If you go
I don't think we were allowed to. I don't think you were allowed to, because you're not taught the education that how we were on the front. Again, the first person that died in the American Revolution. The Buffalo Soldiers. The Buffalo people don't know Buffalo Soldiers. The dreadlock Rastas that came here to fight for us, that was on the front lines. We don't talk about that. We don't talk about Crispus Attucks, the first person to ever die in the American Revolution. The shot heard around the world. We know that term.
He wasn't
know his name. We don't know his name. His name is Crispus Attucks. He was a Black man, the first person to ever die in the American Revolution, fighting for us. But nobody wants to talk about that shit.
But he ain't patriotic, though.
No, we know about Patrick Henry, who rode to the next town, who talked about this nigga getting shot. You know what I'm saying? We know about him. You know what I'm saying? If we want to be real with it, let's talk about Betsy Ross. You know, the person that knitted, that's a famous painting of the person that's knitting the flag. What they don't tell you is that there's a 14-year-old Black girl that was a slave that created that whole image. They actually, when the person was painting, she was in the room and told them, hey, don't put her in this painting. Let's make sure that this painting does not have this slave, that Black girl that helped create the flag that we honor and represent. But yet, I should stand up and be proud as hell about this nation that loves me, right? And I should love it.
And but sidebar, we for the most part we have been.
Right.
Like realistically, Black people haven't really been on this like questioning their patriotism or questioning just all this really until the last like 30-40 years. Like we've really been out here like, yo, we here too. We gonna pledge allegiance. We doing all that. It wasn't until recently that the age of information where people are just like, man, either I'm damned if I do and I'm damned if I don't. If I stand up for the Pledge of Allegiance, I might get popped. If I sit down, if I celebrate the 4th, I might get popped. If I don't, I might get popped. It's really you get to this point where you learn so much and you've been through so much. It's like, bro, we at a crossroads now. It's like, it's hard, man. It's hard. It's hard out here. It's hard out here. We just live a different reality. And yes, we've been afforded luxuries and these different things, and this country has provided us so much. Don't get it twisted. We're not sitting here on this. We're just anti-American. That's never the thing. But we're just pro. We've been living a whole different reality, and we want y'all to understand. It's not. I'm not teaching my kids. We don't mess with like F the 4th of July. We're not teaching them that. I'm just teaching them what's really going on.
We can't teach them to be loved this way. We can't teach them that this is an okay way to be loved and this is acceptable. Then I am less than, then I am less than a parent. I need to teach them, hey, you demand more. When somebody tells you there's something to you, hold them accountable to that.
Yeah.
Hold them accountable to that. No matter what.
That's a damn good point. That's a damn good point. So okay, so my circle back to this is, so if we know we're in a land of information and we read so much, we understand that so much is stripped from us and we're not getting our due diligence, right? But now that we know, shouldn't we be more patriotic? Because this is our land at the end of the day. Like you said, there is no us. You just put your name on the paper.
Now can I be honest?
Paper. This
is my battle. This is my battle, truly, because growing up, I mean, let's just be completely honest. Like I'm patriotic. I am proud to be an American. I will say that. I need everybody to know that I'm proud to be American. And a lot of that comes from looking at the Olympics and looking at the people that represent our country and what they did, and the people that fought for our country and what they did. So it does make me proud, and now I'm to the point of like, it's no more, I'm tired of asking for kumbayas and like, can we please just get our fair share, because I feel like if we look back through time, we've been taught to be nonviolent, and then your shake will come, things will even out, and then all this is going to happen. And that ain't fast enough. That ain't fast enough for me, for not all the things that we've had to deal with, and now I'm to the point of like, I need to be patriotic to take from the people that think that they're really patriotic. I need to be patriotic to take back from what we're owed, so I need to take this flag back and feel proud about it because I built more than you. My people built more than you here. That part. My people built more than you here. If we're really fucking talking about it. Sorry.
Yeah,
I'm getting kind of, but that's where I'm at with it, because I'll throw on that flag sometimes, and especially the last few years. I mean, the last few years with everything going on, it's hard to look at that flag and put it on and be like, yeah, man, I feel good. Because truth be told, I'm wondering what other people are going to see me out in public and be like, look at this dude just walking in, and is he walking and marching to this tune too? Like, he should know better. He should know his history. He should know himself enough to know that they don't stand for him. But I'm to the point now where I'm like, they don't need to stand for me. This flag, I built too much. There's too much blood equity into this for me to turn back now.
That part.
You know what I'm saying? There's too much blood equity into this for me to turn back and say that I can't represent this. So, on one side I'm like, nah, I don't represent this. But I'm like, but nah, there's too much blood equity. We were taken away from what we know or for what we were, but what we know now is who we need to be and where we need to go. So what does that look like? And that comes from power and taking up and standing up. And for me, that's how I feel about it, man. It's like, I want to be patriotic, but that's where my patriotism comes. It's like, it can't be, oh, well, we're all good with the way that things are. No, my patriotism comes from, give me my shit. I'm going to take it back.
Yeah. You gonna get this work.
You gonna
get this work. I feel it, man. I feel it. I struggle. Like how you said, like, it's like you on one end, you want to be, because we know our history. We know what we built. We know what we've been through. We know that we made up 75-80% of the economy.
Mm.
You know what I'm saying?
Mm.
We know. Like, we know. I think it was more than that. It probably was like 90. But I'm going to say 75, 80 to be safe. You know what I'm saying? We built this shit. We know. We know.
But we're not. But hold on. No. I don't know if they know. I don't know if they know because what my man is talking about is the great economic power that we know of the United States was literally built off the backs of slavery. That's just straight facts. Straight facts that the power economically that this country was able to have was built off of cotton. Cotton started there, and then boom. And you know the crazy reality of it? When slavery ended, somebody got reparations for slavery ending.
Yeah, man. Because he sold all their machinery. He sold all their workforce. They got to get compensated. It's like, how you took my slaves away. What am I gonna do? Here, I'm gonna cut you a check. That's what I'm gonna do.
And there's still generational wealth that is compounding to this day off of just that exchange. Mm-hmm. Off of that exchange. But
teach us something about compound interest.
But you know what I'm saying? But yet, I'm supposed to look at this country, look at what it did to my people, took us from, and then when it comes to making things right, they said, you know what? I see that kind of hit your pockets, man. Here, let me give you some money. We'll just send them. We'll lock them up some way, which led to the Great Migration up east, which led to us being in housing projects, and that crippled us in another way that we don't want to talk about.
And then Jim Crow.
Oh God,
you know what I'm saying? Lock them up.
Lock
them up. Put them back on the field.
When you know.
Sharecropping.
You know what I'm saying? When you have this kind of knowledge in your head, it just becomes hard to then become ignorant. And that's what happens is in order for me to appreciate what the 4th of July brings, I have to then become ignorant, of who I am and what has happened to me in the past, as if there is going to be a brighter future. And there's literally no indication of it at all.
Nah, man.
Nowhere. No.
So, okay. So do you think, let me ask you this. So when people are flabbergasted that you may feel this type of way, do you think it's ignorance or they just don't care or they don't want to know?
Cognitive dissonance.
Break that down.
They just want to live in this reality and just not see it. They're so stuck in that tunnel vision. They know it's there. They just don't want to acknowledge it. It's a choice. It's just a choice. Because even for us, it's not easy for us to talk about this stuff, man. It doesn't bring joy. It doesn't bring happiness for me to talk about this, but this is just a reality that I live. This reality that this is what it is, man. Like, this is what goes on. Like I said, I wish that we can just not think or talk or speak on it. But that'd be setting my children up for failure, right?
Yeah.
They can do that. They can do that on their side. They can not talk about it and pretend that it doesn't exist because they're not the ones catching the brunt end of it.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But my child, my 8-year-old child that has to sit there and ask me things like, why don't they want to play with me? Or why do they always want to do this? Or why do they treat me like that? I have to have these conversations with, or I'm doing her a disservice. And that's my reality. That's every Black mother and father's reality. And if we choose not to, our kids deal with things that they're not prepared for it.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? I'm sending my children to school or out into this world just not prepared. Now they can go out and they can make sense of it. They can learn to just coexist with you because of how I've prepared them. You know what I'm saying? The people that can't coexist, they just haven't been prepared to do it. And it's unfortunate that we even have to do that.
Right.
Dog.
And we might not have to if we teach it.
So the critical race theory. So
we might not have to if we sat down and really talked about it and learned about this shit. I might not have to put on a whole fucking body armor on my child of information if we would really, really acknowledge it and call it what it is and talk about it, man. then we be cool. Because my daughter, you would know how she feels when you don't want to play with her, or when you say these type of things about her. You would know exactly how she, like, really how she feels. You know what I'm saying?
But let me ask you this:
how she feels.
Let me ask you this: what part of that do you feel is like? Because here's my thing. I'm like, is it really that you're worried about your child feeling bad for that, or is it really that, like you said, like, I just want to turn this off and act like it didn't happen and keep perpetuating what's going on right now? Because, like I said, we're in the age of information of you know better. Like, you can't act like you don't know. Critical race theory is not something that's going to break your child. It's not, and that's the reality of it. You know that
this whole damn time ain't nobody had a nervous breakdown.
Dog, what we're not talking about is the mindset of being the oppressor that's being portrayed and pushed on the other side.
Because that God complex is a hell of a drug,
and there's danger in that. There's danger, a lot of danger right now, particularly if you continue to push that narrative, because you're becoming the minority. You push that God complex without the power behind it,
shit gets
you might walk into trouble. So it's probably time that you start introducing critical race theory to start really understanding where we are,
really having these conversations, man.
Absolutely.
Because look, you're about to go, because how this plays out is not how people think it is. Like I said, as much as we want to say that it's going to be a peaceful way and the peaceful, that's not the reality of the world. If you look at the world, there's only one thing that's respected. And that's overturning shit. Overturning shit. Yeah. I mean, you look at January 6th. That was attempted then, Yeah. But I know we don't want to talk about that. We don't want to talk about that one here. We don't want to talk about that because we don't, especially in the little patriotism and all that in this conversation, right? We don't.
Hey man, listen, man, you gotta fight for your rights, man.
You know, but I'll be damned if somebody like you gets. Yeah, I'll be damned if somebody looks like you that got killed in a nation that you're supposed to be saluting and be proud of, and you want to get up and fight and even question the integrity of your nation. And the first thing they say is "Get out."
Yeah.
Oh, okay, but I should be proud.
But that's the part, is like that. All that is ignorance to me, is because how could, like you said, if we built so much here, how can they continue to say like, oh, go back where you came from? Like, this is where I'm from.
Because one, it's like a guilty conscience as well. Because they know too. All these, like, one thing I've realized is growing up, man, is like, in order to fear a person and treat a person the way that we've been treated in all these years, that's all a byproduct of like insecurity. Mm-hmm. That's all a byproduct. Like, these things are all byproducts of just fear and insecurity. If you truly didn't care what we was on, if you truly were unbothered by us, you would just let us be and just let us be and let us live. But every time we got 1,000 steps forward, you shoot us back to slavery. Every time we took a step this way, you burn it down. Every time we took a step that way, you shoot it up, you blow it up. You know what I'm saying? It's like all these things are a byproduct of fear. What y'all afraid of? Just let us be. Let us live. Like I said, I don't enjoy living and thinking and knowing and having to deal with this shit. This is a wild reality. This is wild. This is wild, bro.
And there was something I was gonna say earlier. It's like, could you imagine living on the offense instead of your life being 100%?
Always defense.
Always on the defense. You're waiting
for
the
this is like the life of a DB. Is this what it's like for DBs?
Dog, you waiting for the long ball.
The offense knows the plays, bro.
The offense walks on the field like they own it, though. Like, this is my playing field. I can cultivate this whole thing. I got this room to operate. Could you imagine walking on the earth knowing that, like, this is my thing. I can make this my masterpiece. That's not the mindset that we are given. That's not the mindset that's been ever reinstated throughout our upbringing at all. When you look at TV, that's not the mindset that's given to our people. You look at TV, that's not the mindset that we have ever in any of our characters. So it's like, it's like JoJo said, it's been beaten. It's been beaten into submission, based off of fear and knowing that we have to depend on these people. We have to depend on.
And even when we do start showing these things, like we have these shows with these people coming together and doing these different things outside of that show or outside of all these things, they do their best to tear down their image and bring us back down to here. As soon as we have somebody that's here, they bring him back down to here. They got to break the buck. They got to break that buck because y'all doing too much. He's creating a wave. Get him out of here.
I challenge our listeners. I know most of them will probably understand, but look up what we mean when we say breaking a buck. I need you to understand that first. Yeah. To understand that what mentally has to happen, because that truly is the answer to all this. That's the answer to all this. Let's take them where it matters most. Let's take them to their mind and make them think that they're weak. Let's take them from what they know. Let's take them from the motherland where all life was started. Yeah. Take them away from all resources where they can be and just gut them.
And make sure everybody see it. Make sure everybody sees it too.
In front of everybody. And make sure that they know that they can't test it. But yeah, I get asked to be patriotic. And I'm not saying that I'm not, but it gets hard when you know and you are told to celebrate. I put it like this: you get told to celebrate what a government set up. That's what the 4th of July is celebrate our government and what we did and what this good country's government has set up for you. And I can't get with that. Like we said earlier, I celebrate fireworks. I watch fireworks. Get out there and enjoy those.
I ain't even done that the last couple of years. It's not because I'm just dodging. It's just like, bro, like I don't know. I can save my money. My kids really like that anyways.
They expensive. Inflation hit fireworks
like
crazy.
the ones that they want. It's like, bro, no, like, nah, I'll buy you a stop.
Right.
I give you some sparklers, them little poppers. I'm not. Come on,
so,
man.
Okay,
that's crazy.
Going back to what you said, Mo. So, say if it's the government, we're celebrating the government. Should you not want to celebrate what you're able to do now, the freedom that you have to accomplish your dreams?
Celebrate that on Juneteenth.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, okay.
Mm-hmm.
I'll actually move.
But you can answer a move. I was just gonna say we can celebrate that every day.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But no. Here's the thing though. What am I celebrating though? Because it's one thing for me to celebrate, hey, I understand what the government has set for me, the freedoms that I have, but then looking at my counterpart who contributes just as much, if not even as much, has more freedoms. When the thing that I should be celebrating, the Declaration of Independence, the Constitution, and all that says that we're all created equally, right? That's what it says. That's what it says on that document.
So they were speaking French. They said oui. It wasn't us.
Oui, man. Yes, it
wasn't. That wasn't us.
Yeah.
But that's what I'm saying though. It's like when I talk about, to your point, no. Like, sure, I should be celebrated, but that would be me wilting into their mindset of, hey, you should be happy with just the piece that you got, sir. I'm not happy with the piece that I got. I'm happy with the piece that I'm owed.
We don't talk. That's not what it's meant anymore. That's not what it means anymore. It means something. That's the past, Mook. Why we?
See?
That's the past. That's Independence Day means something different today as it did.
Okay, that's what they hit you with.
But you know what I'm saying? That was way back when. But
then.
Now you even brought back another point too, though, and that's like, can we revisit these documents? Like, do you think these documents are still valid after 300 some odd years? Like, can we start to rethink? Okay, all men are created. Hey, let's talk about this was even back in the time of the 3/5 compromise.
Ooh,
we don't want to talk about that though. This is all in the same time frame. These same people that created this document are the same people that said the 3/5 compromise. I bet you we can't talk about the 3/5 compromise because that falls into critical race theory. But that is literally a part of our Constitution and what this country was built on.
What does that mean? I don't. For listeners, what does that mean?
3/5 compromise is literally documented saying that a black man is only worth 3/5 of a man.
Damn.
all the way down into the
All
Constitution.
6'4" my ass.
All big, shit. We don't want to talk about how big this motherfucker is, but all of him, he's only 3/5.
Are you telling me?
Yeah, I'm over here pointing left. I don't know which way.
Yeah.
But look, that's what I'm saying is like that was part of when we talk about Independence Day, and this document is creating independence for a group of people.
Yeah.
But that whole group of people that were signing those documents were, one, they all owned slaves. Yeah. Two, later on, when they created the Constitution a few years later, they made it known that slaves are not the same as people. Right. And then you look at our history, and that's only reiterated. There's nothing in history that says, hey, you're one and the same. You're one and the same. We see you. But I'm still supposed to be happy about this dysfunctional ass relationship.
But what's crazy is this is what messed me up even worse. Y'all only been treating us humanely for maybe the last 50 years. Maybe.
Yeah, I know.
And we're saying humanely, like, really loosely.
Humanely.
We're saying
like not dog humanely, because y'all be treating dogs way better, but like humanely.
50. You
know what I'm saying? Like they like to put MLK's pictures in black and white, like this was 100 years ago. They like to put this programming. They want people to think this shit was so long ago, and it wasn't. Like my mom was integrated into an all-white school. This happened. My mom is in her 60s, bro. Like she ain't old.
And what was you talking about Emmett Till?
Like my mom was alive.
Dog.
My dad was alive, bro.
Dog. And again, that whole Emmett Till situation, like that.
About?
That lady's still alive and has slept peacefully every night. Every night since that day.
We're talking about realities and everyday realities. This isn't old. This isn't old shit. Like if your parents was born in the 50s and the 60s, this ain't old, bro.
Yeah, they was in it.
This ain't old. Like this is not old.
Chances are you know somebody, your grandpa or somebody that was in the time frame that probably still of that mind. You know what I'm saying?
And on the flip side, if my parents wasn't old, that means your parents ain't old. That means they was there too. So what we really talking about?
They know.
They know.
They was there.
My parents born in the 50s, your parents born in the 50s. They know.
But they feel like
if you blessed to have a grandparent in their 80s, they definitely know.
And the crazy part about it is that's why they don't want to talk about it. Because like you said, JoJo, like that's in the past. We grown from there.
So I would have had a hood on when I was a kid. You know what I'm saying? Like, no, bro. Like, and we're not trying to bring, like, don't get it twisted. We're not trying to bring this up to rub it in your face or to create a division. Nah, we got to talk about it. We got to stop acting like this isn't real. You got to stop acting like people aren't affected by this still to this day. You know what I'm saying? Kids.
To this day.
On that, you got to stop with this colonizing mindset that we can't be critical of the fucking country we live in.
Right.
That's my problem.
Yeah.
Like I should be able to question the country that I pay taxes to, that I get up and work for every day. I should be able to question things. You know what I'm saying? I should be able to question things, especially when it doesn't serve people that look like me without being told, hey, get out. I should be able, because that's literally a colonizing mindset.
You don't like it here?
Get out.
As if I chose to be here.
Right. You know, like this is what I feel about it, because I want to talk about really where do we go from here. For ourselves, for our families, even for our friends, is how do we build from this mindset? So it's not just boohoo us and all that shit. Even though people need to understand where we're coming from, but where do we grow from here? And I think, at least for myself, I think I celebrate Juneteenth, but I need to start letting off fireworks on Juneteenth. You know what I'm saying? Like,
I need to start letting off shots. That's what I'm busting up to put gunshots.
We're gonna start lighting fireworks on Juneteenth.
Huh?
You'll start lighting fireworks on Juneteenth?
I'm lighting fireworks on Juneteenth. You know what I mean? That's gonna be the energy that I'm coming with starting tonight. Okay.
Say less.
And then on 4th of July, I think I celebrate 4th of July for the fireworks, but also for freedom of speech. That's what this flag is about, and that's what we're able to really celebrate. And if I'm going to celebrate anything, it's the fact that I'm able to say what I want to say and not get in trouble, or I'm not supposed to get in trouble. You know what I mean?
Yeah, not supposed to.
I'm not supposed to get in trouble, because if I go somewhere else, I can't just be talking outside of my neck. They might come get you. So I'm appreciative of that, most definitely, in our independence. But when it comes to a celebration, just how the Chinese celebrate their whatever, their independence, or whatever other races have, I should be the same thing that Black people do for Juneteenth, and have that type of energy and do some normal regular shit for the 4th. It don't have to be on this extra shit. You know what I mean? Because I say this because if I go, my neighborhood is mostly white people, right? And everybody's outside doing fireworks, popping shit off. And if I'm not, you know what I mean? I'm not an American, or I don't appreciate where I come from. And I think that's not fucking right. You know what I mean? It shouldn't be like that. I should be able to be out there, do a little bit of fireworks, but understand that this isn't my independence. Juneteenth is. So even me personally, I need to start acting like it and making sure my family is as well. So
hey, don't get it twisted. I ain't judging no Black people celebrating.
Not at all.
4th of July, man. Do your thing. I don't judge. I don't judge. Turn up, man. Kick it with your family. Love on them. You know,
I'm for sure gonna be with my family. Most definitely.
Put the guns away, man. Sit down somewhere. Love on somebody, man. Like, because a lot of people lost their lives over 4th of July weekend too, man. There was a whole lot of wild, and that's one thing I hate too. It's like, man, bro, like, because that's the other side. That's the other side we don't like to talk about, right? So let's you know, I don't judge anybody. Let's figure out. We should start. I don't know. We got to figure something about that side of it. But I don't judge anybody.
Yeah.
For what they celebrate. Even y'all, like I said, even white folks. I don't judge. Like, I'm not anti anything. I'm just pro. This is what it is. I'm pro reality. I'm pro. This is just my reality, and this is the choices I'm making, man. Like, because we really do live in two different realities. As much as I want it to not be that, that's just kind of what it is, man. Like, sorry, I just ask that people respect that. Respect it the same way we respect everything they have, because we do.
We do.
And we low key have been, you know, into doing so. You know what I'm saying? To the point now where we're just like, it is what it is. But that's in our spirit. Like, we're not a hateful people. That's just never on us, man. We've always been on some turn the other cheek. Sadly, we've always been on some, like, you know, it is what it is. He ain't mean it type. Sadly.
Yeah.
But right now, I'm not have what you have, but these are my realities. These are my truths. You want to talk about it, we can talk about it. You want to understand it, we can come to an understanding. I'll respect you, you respect me, but this is where we're at. You know, this is where we're at. I don't hate nobody. I love everybody. My kids love everybody.
Yeah.
But this is still our reality.
Yeah.
It don't matter what you do, and no matter how you shake it, this is still my reality. This is still our reality. It's still the things we got to deal with. My kids are still going to have to come home. Hey, Dad, why is this? Why did this happen? And I'm going to still have to have these conversations. Why did the cops say A, B, and C? Or why does my teacher talk to me like this, but she talks to my friends like that? I'm going to have these conversations, because unfortunately, their parents been around a long time. And their grandparents been around a long time. They learned some things, and y'all going to learn some things. You know what I'm saying? And until we're really willing to really sit down and have this conversation, that's kind of where we're going to be at.
I like facts. I'm glad that you said that too, man, because I do want people to know that we don't ever look down on you for celebrating this day. I mean, I get it. I mean, like I said at the beginning of the call, throughout most of my life, I will go on and say that I celebrated the 4th of July, but, you know, being the man that I am and understanding where I am, it's not that I don't celebrate it, that I'm not patriotic, but it's hard. Like I said, it's hard when you've got the cards rolled out to you. You have to, it's either you be ignorant and act like it's not there, or you just keep moving. You just keep moving.
And it's hard to choose the latter, because it's just like,
you want to. That's the thing. Like, you act like I don't want to be part of that celebration.
I know too much. I know too much, man.
I know the playbook.
And not even on the surface level, man. We know too much.
Way too
We
much.
know too much, and we can go like we're really on the surface. We're really not touching, like we're really not diving deep on the real of what's happened. You know what I'm saying? We're just really on the surface level, so everyone can understand. But
I don't know if we could.
man.
I don't know if we could though, without being deemed like a hate group or something. I mean, the way
A
that
hate
people aren't
group
able
or
to even
conspiracy
talk about,
theorists or
yeah,
where's that written? I didn't see that in my history book. That's my man. Don't get me on that.
dog.
Where's
Stop
that
it!
at?
Stop it!
Where's
Stop
that?
it! Because
It doesn't say. It don't say that. It's like, come on, man. Like,
why you wonder why?
Yeah.
You wonder why you don't say that. What they don't tell you is that you look more like you come. I told myself that I am going to. I'm going to keep
chilling,
it
man.
cool.
We got
You
enough time.
look.
Yeah.
That's not where we want to go.
Oh,
You
man.
understand?
Oh, Jesus,
to put a cap on it, man, because this all started about why is it hard and why is it particularly that African Americans have trouble on the 4th of July? And I mean, I feel like this 4th of July, everybody had trouble, really feeling independent.
You got those remember when Cap was taking the knee, like you got that, am I gonna watch football vibes? Like, am I gonna that's the vibe right now.
That was wild
right now.
Yeah, bro. And and like even thinking about that, bro. Like that's a whole nother.
Yeah,
but
apology, but I'm a chill.
Dog, you need more than that. Yeah, like there's a lot by a lot of people, but like to put a cap on it, I want to make sure that nobody walks away. I want to make sure nobody walks away thinking that we don't appreciate this country. We appreciate the lives that we live. We appreciate, the finer things that this country provides. A lot of the reason being that because we contributed to a lot of that shit. You know what I'm saying? And still are. So you can't talk to me like I don't appreciate it, as if I didn't contribute to it. As if my people don't have blood equity, just like yours, if not more. But what I do want to say is that I can be critical of my country. I should be critical of my country, and so should you. The moment you are more critical of your country is the moment that we all are closer to coming together. And I mean critical in all realms, not just the realm that serves your ass.
Ooh, talk that. And you know
that
what?
That need to be a clip all in itself.
I got you. And just like that, the kings have spoken. For our listeners, please like, comment, and most importantly, subscribe, because we thrive and we grow because of you. So make sure you be kings today and every day. Peace.